Okay, and welcome back to Udiana Cricket Ground. Of course, this is the ICC official East Asia Pacific Under-19 Women's Qualifying Series. And earlier today we saw Indonesia beat Fiji. And this is the second game of the day. This is Samoa against Papua New Guinea, and I'm reliably informed by the man himself, Toby, that PNG have been inserted by Samoa, which I don't know if that's a controversial decision or not. Maybe Samoa, they've got 3 out of 3 in the tournament so far. Maybe they want to give their bowlers a good go, and of course they've got this amazing bowler, Lamoe, who's going to take the new ball. So maybe they're thinking that PNG has a dangerous batting lineup, and we certainly know, and according to the stats that Toby just showed me, that the 3 and 4 for PNG have done quite well so far, particularly Lohia I suppose Lahir and Rajadurai did well in one particular game, but I can understand why Samoa decided to bat first, particularly given that they've got the ability to chase down any target, because Farani has been unbelievable with the bat. Here comes Lamoe, and the first ball is outside the line of off stump. And Varghese, she just tried to play that one away to backward point. Didn't make contact, but yeah, I think it kind of makes sense when I think about it now. If I was Samoa, I probably wouldn't feel so bad about chasing a target as this one is edged straight to backward point, and it's dropped by Bracey. It was around knee height or thigh height, and Bracey, she was in a good position there. She could have taken that quite easily, but it spilled out, and Varghese survives. Here comes Lamoe again, and this time Varghese leaving it alone outside off stump. So a big let off there for PNG, and yeah, Bracey will be disappointed with that. That was probably one she should have taken, but it was also at one of those awkward heights. It was around in thighs or knees. It travelled quickly. Here comes Lamoe again, and this time it's lofted up towards mid-off. There's no fielder at mid-off actually, but the fielder at cover comes across and cuts that one off. So Varghese didn't time that. She tried to hit it down the ground. Mid-off is vacant, and actually there was no run out of all of that. So here's Varghese again, facing up to Lamoe. It's down the leg side, and it's a wide. And it's good afternoon once again to Toby, the ICC representative here for this tournament, who's been doubling as I wouldn't say expert commentator, but a very interesting one, with able to give so many perspectives on the game. He's based in Sydney, I believe, Toby, and no, Melbourne, is it? Oh, okay, Melbourne. But yeah, Toby's with the ICC, and obviously this being an ICC tournament, Toby gets to come to Bali and other places around the East Asia Pacific region, and he's been kind enough to spend a lot of time behind the microphone. So good afternoon, Toby.
Afternoon, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here for this blockbuster match this afternoon, and I say talofa to everyone watching at home in Samoa as they get behind their undefeated team, looking for their 4th victory from their 4th match. But PNG, we know how strong they've been as well, and could easily be 3 and zip. We talked about some of their just being on the wrong side of the coin in a few of their earlier performances. They've been sent in today, and we saw in the opening match as well. They
Day one.
Posted a competitive score against Samoa, I think 125, and to Samoa's credit, chased that down. So, it's
Samoa's been good at chasing in this tournament, haven't they? Even that game against Indonesia a couple of days ago. I know it wasn't a massive score, but they showed a lot of composure. So you can kind of understand why Samoa might have decided to bowl first here.
Yeah.
Try and get the total as low as possible, and they know when they come into bat that, particularly with Farani, who's the highest scorer in the tournament so far, they can probably chase anything. Here's Mapu, and it's a full toss. Played up to mid-on, and there's no run. So Mapu just a little bit too full there, but no damage done as Parla. She faces her first ball. But yes, the PNG power, that's outside the line of off stump from Mapu, so that's wide. But they've got, I know they haven't scored runs in every game, but Dika Lahir and Lakshmi Rajadurai, who bat at 3 and 4, are very, very talented batters, and part of me thinks that Samoa's plan is, let's just try and get them out cheaply, much in the same way as what happened against Indonesia the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they can get those early wickets. But that being said, the batters at the crease, particularly Ravu Ross Parla, we saw in that opening game, she's very strong off her legs, and you can see so you can see what Samoa are trying to do. Just bowl a little bit further outside off stump and make her hit through the offside, because she has a lot of strength on anything on her legs, and it would be interesting to see that contest between Avitia Mapu, the captain of Samoa, and the PNG batters today.
Yeah, and it's a big game for the tournament as well, with Indonesia winning earlier today. Now Indonesia's won 3 out of 4, and Samoa's won 3 out of 3. So if Samoa was to lose today, it makes the tournament very interesting with 2 more days left to play. Of course, only one side can go through to the Under-19s Women World Cup in 2025. But Samoa at the moment, as Mapu bowls another one, and that's driven square of the wicket by Vagi and beats the fielder at backward point. They get back for 2. But yes, Samoa's, I mean, I forget who it was. It might have been you, actually. They've been a bit of a surprise packet in this tournament, and whether that's, just a kind of an offhand comment, maybe Indonesia were favourites, but from what I've seen of Samoa, and this is the next ball from, it's struck on the pad, that's got to be close, not given, perhaps going down leg, given Toby's indication with his hand there, but I've been really impressed with Samoa. They've got a really nicely balanced side. They've got a key batter. The bowlers are good, even though they don't really have any spinners. But they just seem to have adapted to this artificial concrete wicket that we've got here at Udiana Ground, probably better than any other side so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Samoa would have been confident coming into this tournament, but you never really know at the under-19 level, because it is the first time that we're seeing these teams play against each other, so it's a new group. And to Samoa's credit, and I think we spoke with their CEO in the previous match around, they came into Indonesia 10 days early.
Yeah, good point.
And
they took it real serious to come that early.
Yeah, and you can
plus the cost of it as well.
Yeah, exactly. But you can see that it's paid dividends already with the start that they've been able to get in this tournament, coming in early, getting used to the conditions, gelling as a team, and Yeah, you mentioned they've got, the leading run scorer in the tournament so far.
And probably, I'm not going to say she's the best bowler, but possibly the most talented bowler as well, Lamoe. Like, Murtiari obviously is an amazing bowler for Indonesia, but Lamoe, she's just got this ability to swing the ball, more so than possibly most of the other of the bowlers. As that's hit to mid-wicket, and Parler is gone. She just chipped it up to mid-wicket. It was a good length delivery. She tried to put it away through the leg side. I thought it was a bump ball, actually, but obviously not. And that's the first wicket down. So PNG 6 for 1 in the second over. Lamoe strikes. She's a good bowler. Honest, I mean, I know everyone. I must tell you. I mean, I doubt whether anyone's actually listening to us, but let's just say you have been listening. I watched it on the pitch. Toby seems to go backwards and forwards between the screens. So Toby actually has a better idea of the actual deliveries. It's just our preference. But just having a look at this one here. Yeah, it was just outside the line of off stump. She tried to pick it up through the leg side, but it was taken at mid-wicket. But yeah, and I can understand why Toby watches the screen, because our position, if you could imagine it, we're actually at long leg here, so we're not looking down the wicket. I just personally prefer to watch it without looking at the screen, but Toby's quite sneaky. He watches a lot on the screen. But anyway, so the new batsman or batter is Lakshmi Raja, and the first ball is short. She tries to pull that one through the leg side. Doesn't make contact. Cannon into her thigh pad. So she's an interesting one, Toby. Lakshmi Raja. She plays her cricket for Parramatta in Sydney. I'm sure I know that Parramatta is in Sydney. And she just works that one away backward of square. And I think, as far as I know, based on the information you gave me the other day, I think she's the only player in the PNG side that actually plays in Australia. The rest of them are actually playing in Papua New Guinea, Port Moresby, or other parts of the country, and Raja just defends this one. Yeah, so that's a bit. She's a bit of a unusual situation for Papua New Guinea, at least. Of course, Indonesia's whole team plays in Indonesia. Samoa, half of them, a good chunk of them play in Auckland, New Zealand. Here's the next ball from Lamoe to Raja. She plays it into the gap between mid-wicket and square leg. They go through for a single.
It's been a great first over here from Oliver Lefanga Lamoe. We talked about her a bit earlier. Just 15 years of age, the youngest player in the tournament. And
I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, gets a wicket in her first over.
She's probably up there with the best bowler in the tournament, and she's only 15. And as you said yesterday or the day before, she only just got old enough, like just in time, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And
she's a bit like Wayne Rooney, basically, just a bit of a prodigy. Yeah. And she's bowling brilliantly.
Yeah, and she's being well supported. I mean, I hate to use the term well supported by the captain, Vitia Mapu, who's been bowling a treat as well. We can see Samoa, they've got some key players that, when they're firing, Samoa are going to be they are a tough team to beat, as we see a lovely shot there from Lakshmi Rajadurai just to get down the other end, and that's all she'll be looking to do early in her innings, as her and Esther Varghese try to build a partnership of their own.
It's a beautiful day here in Bali, Indonesia, where we're broadcasting from and where this game's being played, as Mapu comes in again, right arm over the wicket, and that's driven square of the wicket. And there's a misfield at point, so they're going to possibly get through for a single. Is that close to a run out? No, I think Rajadurai made her ground comfortably there.
Yeah, and Rajadurai, that would be the last thing that she wants after that last game against Indonesia, where she was run out with a deflection off the bowler at the non-striker's end, and that was a big wicket for Indonesia in the context of that match, and she'll be hoping, not to get run out today and try and build on a positive momentum and the scores that she was generating in those opening couple of matches.
Yeah, that was a disaster for her, wasn't it? Run out at the non-striker's end as she cuts this one behind point. There's no one down at third. It's running away towards the boundary, and Bracey, chasing the ball, signals that it's 4. And Raja Durai, she moves on to 6. Yeah, that was horrendous what happened to PNG in that match. Losing their number 3 and number 4 batters in consecutive overs. Raja Durai run out at the non-striker's end with a deflection off the bowler's hand. And the very next over, Lahia was caught down the leg side off a glove as Raja Durai whips this one away towards square leg. It's fielded cleanly there, and there's no run.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be a focus today. Just, maybe don't try and go as hard out of the blocks as previous matches. Work on building some partnerships, tire the Samoan team down. It is the 4th match in 5 days, so the longer you can keep them out there, the runs will come, I'm sure, for PNG. So, maybe playing a little bit more conservatively today.
I suppose also, Toby, we do have a reference point, right, which was the previous match. So same ground, same conditions, same teams, and PNG scored just over 120 in that first match. This one's driven by Raja Durai, wide of mid-off. They get through for a single. Yeah, so I suppose in the back of the minds of the PNG players, they'll recognise that they scored 120 odd last time. It wasn't quite enough. Samoa chased it down, I think, with 5 balls left. So, but this is a solid start. It's only 14 for 1, 4 overs gone. However, as we're seeing in this tournament, it's less about how many runs you get in the power play. It seems to be about not losing too many wickets in the power play, which, that's just cricket, right? As Lamoe, the 15-year-old, she's going to begin her 3rd over to Raja Durai, and it's just defended away to square leg, and there's no run.
Yeah, it's good extra bounce that Oliva Lafanga Lamoe is getting there. That just popped up on Lakshmi Raja Durai. It's good to see that extra height that she has and an extra bounce.
Raja Durai this time whips it behind square, but there's a fielder out there, and it was straight to her, right in front of us. I think she got it on the hand initially, and then onto the knee. That was Tafia, and just the 1 run there to Raja Durai. It was a good connection, but just the 1 run. That brings Varghese onto strike. And she's just defending that one back to the bowler.
Yeah, and good field placement there by the Samoan captain, Avitia Mapu. I thought that could have easily been a 4 off the bat, but straight to the fielder, so well done to Samoa.
Yeah, a lot of teams don't employ a fine leg or a long leg. And there's another one, good example, just as you said, Toby, that's played away behind square, and Tafia at long leg has just come in and cut that one off. So just the 1 run, so 1 to Varghese. She's on to 4 off the 12 balls. Raja Durai back on strike. She's on 8. And this is worked off her pads by Raja Durai down to fine leg. So Tafia's been in the action this over. Three balls she's had to field. 1 more to Raja Durai. She moves on to 9. PNG on to 17 for 1. But it's been a good tidy start by Lemoy. This is the last ball of her third over. It's down the leg side and it's called wide. So with one ball left in her third over, she's conceded 7 runs with the 1 wicket. So I imagine this will probably be her last ball of the spell, but let's see. Here she is. Well, it's a wide, so it's not the last ball, but what I meant to say is I suspect Samoa will keep her back for 1 over out of her allotted maximum 4. But every run counts. They're very tough on wides on the leg side. Can't really afford to go anywhere near the pads unless it's hitting the pads, and that's a better length and better line from Lemoy. That completes the 5th over. PNG, a watchful start, 19 for 1. Rajadurai's on 9, and with her Varghese on 4. A lovely day here actually in Bali, as we tend to have at this time of year and going on into the winter. 29 degrees, a little bit of breeze, but nice sunshine. But I guess all these players are pretty much used to this sort of temperature. Here is Mapu beginning a new over, and Rajadurai hits it directly to cover, where it's fielded by Lemoy. Like I see, just been delivered a little bit of water for myself and Toby. Keep us hydrated, which also helps us hold down our team sheets. With a bottle of water, here's Mapu. Just playing that one to square leg. So, PNG here have been quite watchful. Varghese 4 off 13. She's not on strike at the moment, but Rajadurai has scored 9 off 14. This time Rajadurai is driving down the ground between mid-on and mid-off. It's a chase out to the boundary by Manasi, and they come back for 2. It's a good accumulation, but not a lot of aggression, Toby.
Yeah, slightly more conservative, but still, they've probably recognised that these are the 2 key bowlers in the Samoan lineup. So even though it is in the power play, I mean, that was a beautiful shot.
Oh, gone, Rajadurai! She's just whipped it off her pads. It was there to be hit, but directly to the fielder at square leg. Takes the catch, and, wow, you talked about PNG trying to see off the opening bowlers. Well, from the PNG perspective, picking up Rajadurai, who was looking dangerous on 11, to a, let's say, not the best of balls, but wow, to pick out the fielder, and it was a simple catch, but well taken. That's a big wicket for PNG, and sorry, a big wicket for Samoa, and PNG now 21 for 2.
Yeah, Aviti and Mapu getting one of the big wickets of PNG there. Straight to the fielder at square leg, well caught, low to the ground, and almost couldn't believe my eyes that it went straight to her. That was probably what you call a half chance, and Samoa were good enough to take that chance, and all of a sudden 21 for 2. We were just talking about the end of the power play.
I think there was actually Bracey there, so she was the one that dropped the catch earlier. She's changed fielding positions. I'm pretty sure that was Bracey as this first ball to the captain, Lohia, Dika Lohia. It's just defended away. So yeah, Bracey making up for that previous drop catch. She was at short third for that one, the one that she dropped earlier on. This one, she was just behind square, quite close in, But she made no mistake as Mapu comes in once again. It's a full toss down the leg side.
Yeah, and I think that was a tougher chance as well, that one just off Rajadurai. So maybe that's what she needed. Just a bit more of a challenge to take the catch. And, geez, it was a great catch. And to have PNG at 22 for 2 at the end, well, one more ball left before the end of the power play, this is exactly what Samoa would have been hoping for.
Here's Mapu again. Last ball of the over, and it's just defended by Lahia. And that is the end of the power play. PNG now, 22 for 2. Yeah, it probably was a slightly harder chance because, well, no catch is easy, but when you're behind square, you've got to watch the bat very carefully. Whereas if you're at short third, you can kind of see the line of the ball straight away. But also from a PNG perspective, I mean, if Rajadurai had put it, a metre either side of Bracey, there would have been 4 for sure. That's just the way cricket goes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it may have actually been Tonu who took the catch there, I'm being told.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a great catch nevertheless, but yeah, well done. In perfect position. I was talking a little bit earlier about the Samoan field placements, and they seem to have fielders at the right place at the moment.
Thank you for that update, Toby, as this is struck on the pad this time and given. Varghese played across the line to a full-length delivery. She went down on one knee trying to hoist it away over the leg side. It was a good length delivery for the first ball of her spell from Tafia, and that's another wicket down for Papua New Guinea. Tafia lobbed that one up on a good length. Just looking at the replay, it was on or around about off stump. Marginal, I would have thought, but when you all get hit on the back pad, it doesn't help. Let's put it that way. And the umpire's decision, obviously, is the final one. But yeah, playing across the line to a full-length delivery, get hit on the back pad, and unfortunately, Varghese has to go.
Yeah, umpire Kalidas there. No hesitation in raising the finger, and I'd say rightly so. He is joined today by umpire Claire Polisak. So 2 very experienced umpires out there, and what a start to the spell there for Masina Tafia. Get a wicket off her first ball. The bowling change, paying immediate dividends.
I do feel a bit sorry for bigging up Bracey there when it was Tanu'u who took the catch. My mistake, of course. No excuses. Should have been paying better attention. But Bracey, now I can see, is back in the place that she was previously. As she struck on a pad, first ball again, it's Gowdy, the new batter. So a lot of excitement in the field for Samoa. You get the sense as this is exactly what they were hoping to happen when they won the toss and elected to bowl first. PNG in a spot of bother here. That wicket of Rajadurai was a big one, and then losing another one straight afterwards, it's going to put a bit of pressure on. 2 new batters at the crease. And this one, Gowdy tries to pull, well, not so much pull, just paddle it round the corner. Trying to find the gap between backward square and short fine leg, but didn't make contact.
Of course, it is the end of the power play now, so Samoa are allowed more fielders out, 4 fielders outside of the ring, but they're still opting just to have the 2, so keeping the attack right on the PNG batters, not wanting to give away even a single.
They're looking quite well drilled at the moment, I have to say, Samoa. This one's beating Gowdy outside the line of off stump and collected there by their wicketkeeper, who is So'otanga. She's wearing the helmet, of course, as she did as she has done in the previous games, even though she's standing back. And this one's driven up to mid-wicket. Picked up there by Farani. And that is the end of the over. So very, very good start here for Samoa. 7 overs gone. And Papua New Guinea, 22 for 3. That was a wicket maiden from Tafia. So what a start from her.
Yeah, and just keeping that field up, not wanting to give away a single. They just had the one fielder out on the leg side boundary, and it looks like it's going to be a similar field this over with another bowling change. Vera Farane coming into the attack.
Yeah, just outside the power play. She's, well, that one's a full toss, and it's played away, beats the fielder at square leg, out to the sweeper. They go through for 1. It takes Gowdy off the mark, brings Lahia onto strike. In fact, I've got that the wrong way around. That was Lahia that was on strike previously, so that she got off the mark, brings Gowdy back onto strike. Here's Farane, and that's played up to mid-on. Interesting, there was no thought of a single there. Mid-on was quite deep. We saw in the earlier match with Indonesia batting in particular, they're pretty much running off everything. But here's Gowdy facing Farani, and she's played that one. It was a delicate late cut down towards third, and good running there from Gowdy, as well as her captain, who they get back for 3. Wow, that's unbelievable. She didn't hit it that hard. You very rarely see a 3 run on this ground, but yeah, great running there from Lahia.
Just a slight misfield there, and the Samoans trying to pass the ball to each other, and the captain of PNG, Dika Lahia, she's very quick between the wickets there and sensed the occasion and put the afterburners on and came back for the 3rd run. So well done to PNG, the Ciales. That is exactly what they need to be doing, just to try and put the pressure back onto the Samoan lineup.
Here's Farani again, right arm over the wicket, and it's just played away to backward point by Lahia. There's no run there. Yeah, so Farani just comes off a few paces, almost as if she's an off-break bowler, but the wicketkeeper doesn't stand up to the stumps as she fires this next one in. She's played up to cover. It's picked up there by Mapu, and there's no run.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the key partnerships for PNG, well, particularly while Dika Lahia is at the crease.
She drives this one wide of cover. Mid-off comes round, and they get through for a single, so Lahia moves on to 2. Lofted, but safely away from Mapu. And that is the end of 8 overs now. PNG 27 for 3. So they're going along at 3.38. Feels like it's a little bit in the balance at the moment, Toby.
Yeah.
A wicket or 2 could swing it either way.
I'd say potentially Samoa might be slightly ahead at the moment, but to have some of the key wickets of the PNG batting lineup, and we've seen Samoa's strength with the bat this tournament so far, but a couple of overs, all it takes is 1 over, and that can change rapidly.
So it's going to be Tafia to continue. She comes over the wicket, right arm, and it's lofted down the ground by, oh my gosh, it's taken. Lahia holds out. She tried to go down the ground. Mid-on was quite deep there, and she was well positioned, didn't really have to move, and Lahia, that's going to be a disappointment for her. She tried to go over the top, didn't quite time it, and it was comfortably caught in the end. And the celebration from the Samoa players is there to be seen. So PNG 27 for 4. So Toby, you were pretty much right, and when I said a wicket or two can swing it either way, or I mean a wicket or a partnership, it's very much in Samoa's favour now, you would have thought.
Yeah, and Tafia picking up a wicket on her first ball again after picking up a wicket on her first ball in her first over. Gets it again in the second. And it was a great catch there mid-on by Jane Manasseh, and great celebration as well. She realised the importance of that catch, and I haven't seen too much of Jane Manasseh in the field so far, but seemed to have a really safe pair of hands, and that's the big wicket for Samoa.
Tafia, 2 for none off 7 balls. Make that 2 for none off 8 balls as that one passes through to the wicketkeeper, So'otanga, Angel So'otanga. Yeah, Samoa really in the driving seat, as they say, as that one's driven back to Tafia. So she's still yet to concede a run. She's bowled 9 deliveries so far. She's taken 2 wickets. Hasn't bowled any wides, no balls, and nothing off the bat. Here she comes in again. It's a full toss, and it's played past Tafia, up towards the mid-off boundary. There's a chase out there, and they're going to come back for 2. So Kaveri, who is the new batter, she opens her account. She's on 2. That brings us up to the second to last ball of the over, and this time Kaveri is just defending into the offside. There's no run. So here comes Tafia again. It's been a great spell so far. This one's cut by Kaveri. Past point. There's a chase out there, and they're able to get back for 2. So nice positive start from Kaveri.
Yeah, and it was these 2 batters last time they played that just created a bit of resistance for the PNG team. Vare Kaveri and Gowdy, both scoring well in that first game for them against Samoa, and they'll be hoping that they can do the same today. They had close to a 30-run partnership last time, and if they can get 30, 40, 50-run partnership today, that will go some way for a PNG victory.
Let's see actually, no, we're not going to see a bowling change. It's going to be Farani to continue. Vera Farani. Quick off-break bowler, I'd call her. She fires that one in, and it's driven down the ground nicely, but it's cut off excellently there by Manassi. And just the 1 run there to Gowdy. She moves on to 4, brings Kaveri back onto strike. This one's run down towards short third. There's a fielder there. It's Bracey. And a bit, yeah, that's Bracey. Seems to be her regular position. Obviously, I called it wrong slightly earlier. There's 1 further run to Kaveri. She's on to 5, and this time a similar shot from Gowdy. She picks out Bracey at backward point. There's no run there. So coming up to the halfway mark, it's 9.3 overs gone so far. It's Farani. And once again, a very similar shot. So this is a very good over from Farani. A tight line, just around off stump. Not giving any width at all. This one's driven up to mid-off. They take off for a single, and they get through. Farani there trying to affect the run out, but she clipped the stumps with her hand, didn't collect the ball, and another one to the PNG total.
They move brave running on the arm of Jane Manasseh. She's very solid fielder there, and we saw her take that key catch before and almost getting a run out. Looks to be one of the impressive fielders in the Samoan lineup.
Here's Farani again and beats Kaveri outside the off stump. So that is the end of the 10 overs. So it's the halfway mark of the match, or halfway mark of the innings, I should say. PNG 34 for 4. We'll take a short break and be back with you shortly.
What did I do? I went to cafe in the afternoon with my girlfriend and my puppy, and went to the beach around 5:30, and then this was at home after that. I'm trying to sell a property in the UK at the moment, so I was backwards and forwards with agents and stuff like that.
So here's Tafia. She's going to begin her third over. And as Toby just reminded me, she struck with the first ball of her first 2 overs. Here she is, Tafia. And this is driven back to Tafia. Well fielded in her follow through. There's no run there. So building pressure. Here she is, Tafia. And this one's played away to square leg. There's no run. Another good delivery there from Tafia. Just defended up to cover. It's picked up there by Mapu, the skipper. So excellent bowling here from Tafia. It's 4 for 2. Off this over so far, and that could be a boundary. No, it's well fielded out there, and they're going to come back for 2, are they? It could be a chance for a run out. Wasn't gathered cleanly by the keeper, so they got 2. So the score progresses on to 36 for 4. But Tafia, with just 2 balls remaining in her third over, she's just conceded the 6 runs and taken the 2 wickets. So very, very impressive.
Almost a run out there. A little bit of hesitation between the 2 batters. Very well fielded on the boundary. And that, quite fortunate for PNG just to avoid that run out. Could have been disaster.
This next one is another good ball from Tafia on a good length. Gowdy had to play at that. She just defended it into the offside, into the covers. So last ball of the over. It's a full toss from Tafia and it's pulled away. But there's a fielder halfway out to the boundary at...
That's the prodigy.
Yeah, Lamoe. She was there. She was ready for that. But they managed to get through for a single. So 11 overs gone. Papua New Guinea 37 for 4. So nice little partnership building here with Kaveri. She's on 5 off 7. Gowdy's 8 off 17. Get the feeling, Toby, that 120 odd that Papua New Guinea scored on the first day might be a little bit beyond them today as Farani continues into her third over. And once again, she's bowling such a tight line and a length. Very hard to hit without the batters being super aggressive. She's not bowling bad balls, that's the other thing. She's only conceded 8 runs so far in her spell. This is on the leg stump. There's a chance of a run out. It's worked away to square leg. But they get through quickly and safely. It was good running there from the Papua New Guinea pair. Putting pressure on the Samoa field. Here's Farani again, bowling to Kaveri, and she's just defending that one. Into the covers where Mapu does the fielding. So Farani getting through her spell quickly. None for 9. 2.5 overs gone. This one's cut, and it's cut well. There's no one out there, so there's a chance for at least 2 here, possibly a chance of 3. But no, they'll settle for 2.
Yeah, Samoa keeping a very attacking field. Not too many outside the ring. In fact, I don't think they have anyone outside the ring. So really looking to keep the pressure on PNG and not give away any easy singles. But as this partnership starts to build, they might have to reconsider their field settings and just look to keep PNG, probably try and keep them under 70, under 80, and they'll give themselves every chance with the bat of chasing that down.
So that's the end of the 12th over. Papua New Guinea are 40 for 4. Kaveri's there on 7. Gowdy's there on 9. Farani's now completed 3 overs of her spell. She's only conceded 11 runs. So this is mightily impressive by Samoa, as we're going to see a bowling change now at the northern end of the ground. That's in fact, no, it's not. It's Tafia just remarking her run, I should say. I thought it was a bowling change, but no, Tafia will carry on her spell. This will be the last over of her spell. She's got 2 for 7 so far. Yeah, you'd have to say Samoa's very much on top at the moment. As you might expect as well. I mean, they're 3 for 3 in this tournament, and they don't seem to have too many weaknesses in their side, especially not with their bowling. It's just so accurate. Here is Tafia. It's driven and beautifully fielded by Tafia, diving away on her follow-through.
Yeah, they're playing with a lot of confidence at the moment, Samoa, aren't they? And you can see it on their faces. They're up and about. It looks like they've got a sense of freedom and enjoying their cricket, which is, of course, what you want all of them to be doing. But you can really tell with Samoa, encouraging each other, every ball smiling, and getting behind each other and their teammates. And why wouldn't you? And you've got PNG 40 for 4, and you're 3 from 3 in terms of wins.
Here's Tafia once again, and this is driven again back to Tafia. How many times has this happened in this spell? Good length deliveries. The batter trying to force it, in this case Gowdy, down the ground, but straight back to Tafia. Look at those figures. 2 for 7. And once again, it's defended. So just 2 balls left in her spell now. She's conceded just the 7 runs. She's taken 2 wickets. And has really, really applied a lot of pressure on the Papua New Guinea side. As Gowdy faces the next one and tries to put Tafia once again tries to save that. It was just wide of her, and it rolled its way up to mid-on, and luckily enough for PNG, they're able to get through for a single. That takes Gowdy on to 10 off 24 balls and brings Kaveri on to strike for the last ball of Tafia's spell. She comes in right arm over the wicket, and as has happened so many times, it's straight back to Fia. That is the end of her spell, a brilliant spell of bowling. 4 overs, 2 wickets for just the 8 runs. And some PNG, after 13 overs, are 41 for 4.
We are still yet to see who the 5th bowler will be for the Samoan lineup. So Farane here coming in for her 4th over and last over of her spell. So they will need to find someone, maybe 1, maybe 2 extra bowlers, and maybe from a PNG perspective that could be exactly what they're waiting for, just to maybe try and increase the run rate and get their score up to a defendable total.
Here is Varane. And it's driven by Gowdy, but only as far as Mapu at cover. There's no run there. So Gowdy's taken 26 balls to get to 10. But from another perspective, as she's hitting the pad, looks like it's going down the leg side, no appeal. Another perspective is that PNG really needed this partnership. They lost wickets early, particularly their 2 star batters, Rajadurai and Lahia. This one's driven down the ground. There's 2 fielders converging on that. They get through for a single. So Gowdy moves on to 11. 42 for 4. So just 6 overs left after this one.
It's been an impressive bowling spell from the Samoans so far in the first 13.4 overs. There's hardly been a boundary hit. Lots of dot balls. You could tell that the day break has really helped them with their bowling performance, because so far today, I think it's probably been their best bowling performance so far. I know they have kept teams to lower totals, and they kept Indonesia just to 70, but this performance so far today, and if they can finish it off in the last 6 overs, they'll be very impressed with how they've done.
Yeah, it's a good point there, Toby. As we get to the end of the 14th over, PNG now 43 for 4. But yeah, if you think back to that game against Indonesia, which was that on Thursday, I think it was, where they bowled all those wides. Look at the difference between that, 31 or something like that, to today. I mean, they've barely bowled a bad ball, as Lamoe's going to come back into the attack. So this is an aggressive option. As you said, Toby, they're still going to need 1 or 2 more, 2 now. 2 more bowlers to finish out the innings, but it's going to be Lamoe searching for a wicket, and that's just defended by Kaveri. But yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? They just had a really bad day the other day, or maybe, the coaches might have said to them, and the manager, look, just stop. If we can reduce the wides, it will make a massive difference.
Yeah, well, we've spoken about Samoa's strength with the batting throughout the first half of the tournament. Easily made the most runs of any team, and have looked really good with the bat. But now today, to be adding that bowling and fielding performance as a strength of theirs, it really rounds out their team and shows that they've got strengths in all facets of the game.
This time there's a potential run out the non-striker's end. Kaveri wasn't interested in a run. Gowdy was looking for it. She had to race back, but in the end, the throw from Tanu'u was nowhere near the stump, so not a problem for PNG. Here's Lamoe again. It's driven to cover. It bounces off Mapu, the skipper, straight to Lamoe, so there's no run there. So this is really good stuff. Look at Lamoe's figures again. Just 2 balls left in her spell. She's only conceded 8 runs. She's got the 1 wicket. This one's worked behind square. It's picked up behind square, and they're only going to get through for a single. So once again, to fair it was there. And Kaveri just picked out, of all the spaces behind square, she found the fielder, and this is excellent stuff from Samoa. They're just not giving anything away. No easy runs anywhere. And as you alluded to earlier, Toby, there's only one fielder that's actually genuinely outside the ring, which is at deep square leg. They're going to run through for a single here. So that is the end of Lamoe's spell. It's been an excellent one again. She's finished with, just wait for that to tick over here, 1 for 10. So 1 for 10 off 4 overs. So with just 5 overs left in the innings, PNG going along steadily, but you would think that in the last 5 overs, particularly with 6 wickets in hand, they need to push their run rate along. They're going along at 3 and over at the moment. So where do you see it finishing up from here, Toby?
Yeah, it's interesting as it looks like Tia Mapu, the captain, is going to bowl her 4th over as well. So after this over, we are going to have 2 new bowlers come into the attack. And, you know, if PNG can make the most of that bowler 5 and 6 and just push that run rate up a little bit, if they can get through this over.
Here is Mapu bowling to Gowdy, and she plays that nicely up to wide mid-off, and they go through for a single. Picked up there by Manassi. Yeah, it's interesting tactics, isn't it? To bowl out your 4 frontline bowlers, and there's going to be 4 overs left after this.
Yeah, they were probably hoping...
It's lofted in the air, over mid-off, out towards the boundary, and it's going to run all the way down towards our commentary position for 4. It's a lovely shot there from Kaveri. It was on a good length. She picked the length, saw the line, hit through the line of the ball, over cover, and out to the boundary for 4, which has prompted a field change. Manassi now is just a little bit deeper, probably 3/4 of the way to the boundary at long off.
Beautiful shot there from Owala Boyo Vare Kaveri as she just gets off strike now with a quick single and bringing the 50 up as well with that 4. So to answer your question, I think Samoa were probably hoping to try and get a wicket using their 4 front line bowlers, but this partnership, it's built, and we saw it in that first game as well against Samoa, that this was a key partnership. And I think if you're in the PNG camp, maybe these last 4 overs you hope to go 8 or 10 and over, try and get the score up to 80, 85, and you give yourselves a really good chance with their bowling lineup as well.
Yeah, it's interesting tactics, isn't it? You don't often see this happen. Maybe if they were 6 or 7 down, you might expect it, but seems to be working so far for Samoa. Here's Mapu again, and this one's just defended back to a very short mid-on, and there's no run there.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're pushing for that next wicket, you know, you just want to bowl your best bowlers to, and
Yeah.
you realise the importance of this partnership and these batters at the crease. So, you know, no fault there. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. And from a PNG perspective, they've set themselves up nicely with this partnership to, you know, really have a really big last 4 overs.
So that is the end of the 16th over. Mapu finishes her spell with 1 for 20. So a little bit more expensive than the other bowlers, but as Toby's alluded to, with 4 overs left, Samoa's going to have to introduce 2 separate new bowlers, and it looks like it's going to be Manassi. So she's actually bowled at the end of the innings a lot of the time during this series so far. Certainly she did on Thursday, and so being trusted with this responsibility by her captain Mapu and her teammates, she's going to come in from the northern end of the ground. It's a big full toss, and it's swept away by Kaveri. It's picked up out there by Lamoe, so they're only going to get one run. Lamoe making good ground to her left, behind square leg, out towards the boundary line. So just the one run there to Kaveri. She moves on to 15. Here's Manasi again. Another big full toss, and this has gone to a very, very short fine leg. They get through for a single. It's picked up there by Miriama Pita, coming across from a very fine third, or a fly slip possibly you'd call that. So another run to the total. PNG move on to 53 for 4. Another full toss, and this is swept away once again. Lamoe is out there, beautiful one-handed pickup. Throws it back to the bowler.
Yeah, she'll just be hoping Manase, as that ball just came in and hit her just above the waist. That looked to be, she looks to be in a little bit of pain, but she is a strong character. She'll just be hoping to, just try and get that length right. She's been only been going for a runner ball.
That's that better length, isn't it? Just landing it in an awkward length to hit. Beats the outside edge of Gowdy's bat.
She looks to be in a little bit of pain there with the ball coming in on that previous delivery, just hitting her there in the rib. So she's holding that there, as you can see, with her left hand. But she, as I said, she's a strong character, so fighting through the pain.
Here she is again, Manasi, and that's swept in the air. There's a chance of a catch, and there's a collision. So the catch wasn't taken. Two fielders there converging. One was Paula Taivao and the other was Tanu'u. Landed between them. Thankfully no one got hurt in that situation. But it was a chance for Samoa. They weren't able to take it. And it's another full toss, and this one swept nicely down towards our commentary position, but it's going to be picked up inside the boundary by Lamoe, and they come back for 2. So Manasi's first over's finished. She just conceded the 6 runs. So PNG now, with 3 overs left, they're 57 for 4. Gowdy's there on 15, and with her Kaveri on 18 off just the 23 balls. So evenly poised. Can Papua New Guinea launch an attack in these last 3 overs and post a, I don't know, with 57, let's say they score 6 or 7 and over. Let's say 7 and over, 3 sevens are 21, 58, 88.
Yeah,
Is that unreasonable? What do you reckon? Maybe 80?
Yeah, I think if you're PNG at this stage, you're probably taking anything over 80. That would be a good finish. But
anyway,
we're doing well to contain the boundaries. It looks like PNG is certainly launching an attack, but hard to score anything more than a single at the moment. So it's really good fielding performance as we see Bracey into the attack in the 18th over.
Yeah, it's a tough ask, isn't it, to come on at this stage of the innings to bowl your first over, but she started off okay, just conceded the single off the first ball, as this one's defended by Kaveri.
Don't Samoa just look up today? Their bowling has been really good lines and length throughout the innings. They look really determined and focused. Not to say that other teams don't, but you can just tell that they're really confident with the way they're playing at the moment. As we see that one just called for a wide there by umpire Polisak. But it's been a really impressive bowling and fielding performance from Samoa. I keep harping on about it, but it has been impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go a step further and say it's probably been the most impressive bowling performance of the tournament so far by any side. This one's down the leg side. Not collected cleanly by the wicketkeeper So'otanga. Signalled wide once again. I mean, I know that I obviously have a soft spot for Indonesia because I live here, and I think they've got a really nicely balanced attack, but this is a lovely shot down the ground, well and truly over mid-on, out to the boundary for 4. What a strike from Kaveri. Picked the length, and there was no one out there, as Toby's alluded to. Samoa keeping a very kind of attacking field, no one in the deep, and Kaveri launched that one away, and it raced away for 4.
Yeah, it's been a very impressive innings here.
There's another one down the ground. It's not going to go all the way this time, but Kaveri deciding to go after Bracey here.
Yeah, Oala Boyo Vare Kaveri. She comes from a long lineage of PNG cricketers. The wicketkeeper, of course, for this PNG Ciales unit, and she'll make the most of that one as well, and that could run away for 4 as well. So quite the counter-attack from the PNG wicketkeeper.
Yeah, that was a ball down the leg side from Bracey. She just strayed into the pads. Kaveri caught up with it. There was a chase, but there was no one at fine leg. It was a short fine leg, and Kaveri managed to get it through the fielder there and ran away for 4. Certainly this outfield has sped up a lot over the last couple of weeks at the Udiana Cricket Ground. And here comes Kaveri again. She hits that one over mid-wicket, but it's cut off there nicely. But they managed to get back for 2. So this is really good batting from Kaveri, and that's the end of Bracey's over, her first over, and she conceded 15. So, yeah, as you sort of predicted, Toby, you suggested that the last 4 overs might be a little bit risky from a PNG perspective by bowling out their front liners so early. So there's just 2 overs left, and you said 80 a minute ago. Well, now it's looking a bit more like 90.
Yeah, I didn't factor in that Oala Boyo Vare Kaveri was just going to launch 11 off the last 4 balls there, and she's retained the strike like any good wicketkeeper. You know, the counter-attack, and coming in at number 6 for the PNG team. Sorry, she hasn't retained the strike.
Yeah, she has.
Oh, she has?
Yeah.
She's been
Just
very impressive with the bat. Been impressive behind the stumps as well. She's playing some tournament and doing everything she can to try and get victory for PNG today.
In fact, she hasn't retained the strike. It's Gowdy on strike, and she works that one away to the deep mid-wicket sweeper. They come back for second. That's very good running. And Gowdy adds 2 to her total. She's kind of been the silent partner here. She's just quietly accumulated in the background. She moves on to 18. And Kaveri's there on 29. 73 for 4. The score is Manassi. Comes in again. That's a big full toss, and it's pulled away down towards fine leg. There's another chase there. It was well fielded there by Miriama Peter, restricting the scoring to 1. And that takes Gowdy on to 19, PNG on to 74 for 4. Manassi's just struggling with her length here. Too many full tosses in the spell so far. There's another one, and it's pulled away. But there's a fielder out there behind square. That's Lamoe, and they get through just for a single. So Kaveri moves on to 30. So this total's building.
Yeah, you can see Manasseh. She's probably just trying to bowl Yorker length, and the batters are good enough just to get down and turn it into a full toss. But it is only going for a single most times. So, look, PNG, their total's building up. And
this time it's another full toss, and excellent fielding out there from Varani. She was at deep mid-wicket. As you say, Toby, these are full tosses, but PNG's not really fully capitalising on the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, only going for singles. The fielders seem to be in the right spot. That one just goes down the leg side, and umpire Kalidas calls that for a wide. So it looks like PNG will look to edge towards that 90 mark, and I mean, anything over 90 is very defendable, particularly with early wickets. So it's been a really good comeback, and this partnership from the 5th wicket partnership for PNG, it's
a lovely shot there. She was advancing Karevi. She went down the ground, collected it. There was no one at long off, and it went away for a 4. So Kaveri, she moves on to 34 off 30. Very impressive, actually. As you say, this has been a great partnership. When was the last wicket? Actually, must have been a little while ago.
4 for 27. So
4 for 27.
54-run partnership, and we saw it when these teams played earlier in this tournament. These two had a strong partnership as well, but they've outdone themselves today. They must love batting with each other, and up to 54, and no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
As Kaveri works another one off her pads behind square, picks up another single. If I'm not mistaken, the other day, didn't Kaveri score like 4 off 30 a couple of days ago? I seem to remember. It's almost, I might not have remembered that exactly right, but this has been a great batting performance from her. She's played a few big shots, but just getting on to 35 off 31, I kind of feel like she's just put the foot down, so to speak, in the last few overs. But, she's batting. Oh, she's got a strike rate of over 100. Yeah. Anyway, that is the end of the 19th over.
Yeah, you're spot on.
Yeah, I thought so.
In the game against Indonesia, she scored 11 off 37, but if you remember in that game, they did lose a lot of wickets.
Yeah, true.
So it's a different situation.
Yeah. There was a flurry of wickets, wasn't there? And she was kind of the one that was not getting out at the same time. And this is probably with Gowdy doing such a good job at the other end.
Yeah, and we see Jane Manasseh. She was holding her leg as she was bowling that last over, just the outside of her right leg, above her knee. Looked like it was something hamstring or maybe quad related. She got through the end of the over, but clearly not in a good way. And the trainers have come out and they'll just be having a look at her.
Yeah, so we're just going to have a little bit of a delay here. Just the treatment process just needs to happen, but there seems to be a little bit of concern. So just the 1 over to go. Let's hope Manasseh's okay. She's getting to her feet now.
She was holding her leg in that last over, and it's clearly still just well enough to bowl, but it doesn't look good. So
looks like she's going off now, I think.
Right leg there. Could be something to do with the knee, actually. We'll try and find out a bit later for you, but not a good sign for Jane Manasseh.
Yeah, it's sad to see, isn't it? Never like to see people get injured like that, having to leave the field. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to bowl the last over here. Is it a bowling change? I think it is. I think Bracey's going to come out of the attack, and she's going to be replaced by Salima. So she's actually bowled a fair bit in this tournament. Not always a full spell, but she's been entrusted with the final over. So PNG, 82 for 4, 1 over to go. Kaveri's on strike, which I guess is the crucial thing from a PNG perspective. just the 3 fielders out on the boundary. That's a little bit surprising. Anyway, here is Salima, and it's pulled down to one of those fielders on the boundary behind square. They go through for a single. So Kaveri moves on to 36, which brings Gowdy on to strike. PNG 83 for 4.
Yes, Samoa will just be hoping to get through this over and hopefully keep that score under or around 90.
This
Ball
time.
like that will help.
Oh, great throw. Is that out?
They could keep running.
They took off for a single as Gowdy played it into the leg side, and Kaveri running to the striker's end was sort of cruising along, but it was a brilliant piece of fielding. It was a direct hit, but not given, I think.
Vare Kaveri was happy enough with a single. Didn't look to want to come back for 2, and why would you when you're hitting it at this rate, 36 off 32? Take the responsibility here.
She is Kaveri just defending this one. Yeah, that was Tanu'u out there off the previous delivery at square leg. Picked it up cleanly, threw down the stumps. But always looks spectacular, doesn't it, when it's a direct hit like that. Here's Salima once again. Kaveri this time looks to pull that one away through the leg side. I think there was a bottom edge there. They go through for a single. In fact, it was a bye. So another one to the total.
You
So
can
this is
see what Vare Kaveri was trying to do. Just walked across her stumps, looking to hit it in the gap there at square leg. No one out on the boundary in that square leg position, but just couldn't quite get onto it. But happy to take a single.
Yes, Salima. And this one's pulled away by Gowdy. There's a fielder out there, so it will only be a single just behind square. Backward square. So Gowdy moves on to 22. It's been a good knock from Gowdy. Very much in the supporting role. But 22 off 43 in these circumstances. Very good knock. So Salima, she's done well here. She's only conceded the 3 runs. This is the last ball of the innings, and this one is worked away behind square. There's a chase out there. It's a good bit of fielding as well. She's cut that one off. I just didn't pick up who that was, but they've managed to get through they got through for 3. Thank you, Toby. So a good finish to the innings. PNG, after being in a spot of bother early on, after this brilliant partnership between Gowdy and Kaveri, they've finished on 89 for 4. So when we come back in about 10 minutes' time, Samoa, if they're going to maintain their unbeaten start to this tournament, they've won 3 from 3 so far, but to carry that on and make it 4 from 4, they're going to require 90. We'll be back very shortly. Okay, so we're back here at Udiana Cricket Ground. It's a little bit cloudy here. Normally at this stage of the day we have to move our commentary table. Toby gave me the option. I said, I think we'll be alright, Toby. It's just a little bit cloudy, a bit breezy, not too hot. As Samoa starts their innings, and this one is just defended by Tanu'u into the offside off the first delivery from Alex. So the target is 90 after PNG made a very respectable 89 for 4, given where they were early on. What was it, about 70 for that wicket, Toby, the last partnership?
Yeah, 62-run last fifth wicket partnership. So they were at 4 for 27 and looking in a lot of trouble at the loss of that fourth wicket. A great partnership for that fifth wicket. And to be defending 90 or 89, they'll be feeling confident, I think, with that momentum.
So here's Alex again from the Cooter end of this Udiana Cricket Ground. It's defended back to Alex. He's a very accurate bowler, actually, Alex. She's got quite an interesting action. It's slightly delayed as she bowls it, but very accurate. And 3-dot balls so far.
Yeah, and PNG look to have done their homework from the first encounter, and they've got two fielders out back on the leg side, as we see the first run for the Samoan team, but two fielders on the leg side boundary at deep square leg and deep mid wicket. So clearly we're probably caught a little bit surprised in that first game, seeing the amount of boundaries out there, but they look to have come in with the plan, and when you're defending a score of 89, you've got to be saving every boundary.
Well, they also have a bit of a dilemma, don't they, PNG? Because obviously they want to take wickets to win the match, but they also don't want Farani batting in the power play for exactly the reason you just said, Toby, because the restrictions on how many fielders you can have out, as that one's worked away to wide mid-on. They go through for another single.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dilemma, isn't it? But
well, obviously you want the wickets, right? But I'm just saying, if Farani comes in now, for example, with 5 overs left in the power play, makes it hard to defend, let's put it that way. Anyway, Tanu'u and So'otanga are both on 1. But it's been a tidy start by Alex, just conceding the 2 runs off the 5 balls so far. So here she comes again, last ball of the over. Oh, and it's a lovely delivery outside the line of off stump, beats Tanu'u. So after 1 over, Samoa chasing a target of 90, they're 2 without loss.
lovely first over there from Juna Alex Palau. Very tidy, 4-dot balls, just the 2 runs. It's exactly the kind of start that you'd be hoping for.
The sun breaks through the clouds. Not that it's particularly cloudy today, but it's just hasn't felt as hot as other days. Although having said that, maybe we should have moved our table, Toby. I can feel the sun on my back now.
And we're seeing a change of tact from PNG from their first few games, starting with spin here, with Lakshmi Rajadurai coming into the attack in just the second over. So clearly they've gone and done their homework and coming with a different plan to what they went with in the first few matches.
Here is Rajadurai, right arm over the wicket. That's short and it's pulled away behind square. There's a fielder out there. She's chasing around the... Oh, there's a great bit of fielding. Absolutely brilliant bit of fielding out there. I didn't quite pick up who that was, but she raced around the mid-wicket boundary to backward square, dived, cut that one off, and restricted the scoring to 2. That was a really good effort out there. Given that there's only 2 players outside the circle, with the fielding restrictions, and this one is driven into the covers.
I think it was Loa Ranu out there on the boundary. Great effort, saving 2 runs for her team. And when you're defending a score like 89, every run that you can save is an absolute bonus.
Here's Rajadurai, and that's a lovely ball. It beats So'otaga outside off stump, taken nicely behind the stumps. That was a nice take there by the wicket-keeper, which is Karevi, of course. Kaveri, I should say, who batted superbly in Papua New Guinea's innings as Rajadurai fields that one on her follow-through. Here she is again, Lakshmi. This one's carved away up to mid-off. It's picked up there by Winnie Oa, number 45. No run there, and this is Rajadurai again, and it was an attempted attacking shot there by So'otaga, but just didn't time it at all, went into the ground, and that is the end of the second over. So a good over from Rajadurai, just the 2 off it, and Samoa after 2 overs are 4 without loss. So the required run rate is 4.78. Not a big problem at this stage, although they're only scoring at 2 and over, but it's the sort of thing that can creep up very quickly, Toby. If you just have a few low-scoring overs.
And the Samoans really coming out with positive intent. Probably those last couple of balls from Rajadurai, just a bit further outside the off stump, and potentially, if left alone, could have been a wide, as we see this one left alone for a wide. And
Yeah, down the leg side there.
So'otaga so went after them. You know, could have come off, but it's good to see the positive intent, even if it is a potential wide delivery. They're looking to score, and that's the mindset that you want your batters to have when chasing a score like this. They're not wanting to get there with extras. It's trying to score as many off the bat as possible.
As this is a beautiful delivery, struck on the pad. It's an appeal. Tonu'u, she was beaten there. It was a good ball from Alex. There was an appeal.
Yeah, just a little bit of late in-swing there, and potentially a little bit of too much in-swing. Just looked to be going down leg side, but lovely delivery there from junior Alex Palau.
Very good start here by the Papua New Guinea bowlers. This one's just driven up to mid-wicket, and there's no run there. Very, very tidy start. Well, 2.5, well, almost 2.5 overs gone now. Oh, sorry. Well, there's a wide, so it's 2.2 overs gone, but just the 5 runs on the board.
They sense, if you're PNG, they sense how important every game is. They need to win every game to give themselves a chance of qualifying for that Under-19 Women's World Cup. So
Yes.
they know how important it is today to get that win, particularly against the top of the table Samoa, and that's one win that Samoa aren't getting and one win that you are receiving. So it's an absolute must-win game for PNG today.
It's very interesting looking at Tanu'u's stance. She's basically taking an off-stump guard, but with a very open stance, which indicates she wants to hit through the leg side, and this time she's beaten outside the line of off-stump. And Kaveri takes that one behind the stumps. So this is an amazing start so far from Papua New Guinea. They might not have taken any wickets yet, but just to concede 5 runs with just 2 balls left in the 3rd over, it's a great effort as this one's defended into the covers. So Alex, she's doing a superb job here. She's just conceded 3 runs with 1 ball left in her 2nd over. Tanu's faced 10 balls now. Just scored the 1 run. Not the end of the world, obviously, but it'll be playing on her mind.
Yeah, they do know that they've got hitters in the shed, so can afford just to be a little bit conservative as well. And rotate the strike, of course, but when you've got that batting, that batting depth, they know they can chase a score of 90 if required off a few overs, particularly if someone like Vera Farane or Tia Mapu get going. They know that they can score the runs quite quickly.
Yeah, Mapu's, she's a very clean striker of the ball. Farane's obviously very dominant because she tries to pretty much smash every ball to the boundary, but in terms of pure hitting power, Mapu's a very good striker of the ball. As this first ball, excuse me, from Raja Durai is a dot ball. In fact, it was a wide, so that will have to be re-bowled. And that's a lovely delivery. And she's bowled her, playing across the line or not picking the line. And Tanu'u probably feeling the pressure. And Raja Durai got through her defences. And that is the wicket, exactly what Papua New Guinea were looking for. So after, let's have a look at this on the replay. In fact, it drifted in. It was a full-length delivery, and Tanu'u played all around that one, and absolute joy for the Papua New Guinea side. They've struck early, clipped the top of the bails, and well done to Lakshmi Rajadurai for taking that early breakthrough. But that also presents another problem for PNG. The tournament's top scorer has just arrived at the crease. However, what I would say, Toby, is that Farane seems, from what I've seen, to be a lot more comfortable against quicker bowling. And Rajadurai bowling her off breaks might pose a little bit of a challenge here. Here she is. And Farane, first ball, picks the length, heaves it over mid-wicket. There was a misfield out there and away to the boundary for 4. So having just said that she favours quicker bowlers, she hits her first ball off the spinner for 4. What would I know?
Oh, she just picked up the length there. It was probably slightly too full to someone like Farane, who just went off the length and hits it hard, and it's an uncomfortable position there.
Yeah, a bit of a misfield from Marano, wasn't it?
It was travelling. And they've made a fielding change. The captain, Dika Lehe, has just said, we'll go out to deep mid-wicket now, realising that probably is the dangerous position when you've got someone like Vera Farane at the crease.
Yeah, and still 2.5 overs left in the power play as well. This time it's So'otaga beaten outside the line of off stump. I'm starting to regret that decision not to move our table, actually. I can feel this heating up. We might have to do a little reshuffle at the end of this over, I think. But yeah, Farane is off strike at the moment, which is not a bad thing for PNG. Here's Rajadurai, and this is lofted up towards mid-off, but it bounces just short there, and Winnie O, she came in. There probably was never a chance, but it's a bit risky, a bit aerial there from So'otaga. She moves on to 4, but it brings Farane back onto strike, and she slashes it up towards backward point. There's a chance of a catch. 2 fielders going for it, and it was dropped. Oh, that was an opportunity for Papua New Guinea. There might also be an injury here. 2 fielders going for it. I'm not sure if anyone called for it, but it was a chance, and it's a chance that went begging. Just looking at the replay on the monitor here. Oh, there was a collision there, and just going to pick up who it was. There were 2 of them going for it, and it was Gowdy. Gowdy was the one that got her hands to it, and she looks to have injured herself in the process. So we'll just pause for a minute while we move our desk, and as Gowdy gets some treatment. So we'll come back very shortly. So after all of that, that was in fact the end of the over. So 4 overs gone now, 2 overs left in the power play. Rajadarai's got 1 for 10 off her 2 overs.
Gowdy looks to be taken straight to the medical tent, and of course earlier today we saw Jane Manasseh get taken to the medical tent. She looks to have potentially injured her hamstring, whereas this one looked to be a bit more of a collision injury, just right there in the hip. So we hope that young Gowdy there, she's okay after an impressive batting performance. Yeah, unlucky to, looked like she almost had the catch there, and just an unfortunate collision in the field.
So it's going to be Ranu as she comes in with her first delivery. As the bowling change at the northern end beats Farani outside off stump. And Kaveri standing up to the stumps. So up to the stumps to the medium pacer. And Farani, this one skies it behind point. In fact, to where you would call a fly slip position. They get through for a single. But I guess, Toby, aside from the fact that Gowdy has had to leave the field, there was also a crucial opportunity for PNG, which, through no fault of anyone's really, it wasn't the easiest of catches, but, here's Farani. Oh, in fact, this is Soatanga edging that one down towards third. They run through for a single. But yes, there was a chance for PNG to get the key wicket of Farani, and sadly for PNG, it didn't happen. And that's cricket, right?
Yeah, the beauty though for PNG is they are creating chances, and you get the sense that another chance will come pretty soon. So these things do happen.
Here's Farani, and it's smashed mid-wicket. Well, I'm not sure if that was a chance or not, but it was brilliantly fielded. That was a superb effort there by Margaret Wari. Absolutely crunched by Farani.
Jeez, you wouldn't want to be on the end of fielding one of these balls from Farani. That was hit hard.
It was. Here is the next ball from Ranu, and finds the outside edge of Farani's bat. I think that was off the edge. They go. In fact, it was a wide. Forgive me. They managed to get through for a run, so it's 2 wides to the total.
As we see Owala Boyo, Vare Kaveri up at the stumps. Of course, I alluded to it earlier, coming from a strong cricketing family. Her dad was the wicketkeeper for the PNG men's team. And you can see a little bit of him in her style as a wicketkeeper, and keeping up to the stumps to a medium pacer, and looking really comfortable after an impressive batting performance as well.
It's the first time I can remember actually in this tournament that exact scenario you just talked about, Toby, as this one's worked away to deep square leg. They go through for a single. Soatanga moves on to 6, which brings Farani back onto strike, although that actually is the end of the over. So, in fact, Soatanga will retain the strike. Samoa, 19 for 1, 5 overs gone, so 1 over left in the power play. Ranu conceding 5 runs from the first over. So The required run rate is well and truly under control at the moment. It's just 4.73. Shouldn't be too problematic for Samoa as long as they manage to retain their wickets, as Thomas is going to be to come into the attack now from the Uluwatu end of the ground. She's been impressive in this tournament so far. Proved to be a very accurate bowler. Here she comes.
She's been PNG's leading wicket taker so far, and you can see why. Just putting it right on a spot from her first ball. So, Dickola here will be hoping her leading wicket take can get a few wickets today, and there's none more important than Vera Farane in this tournament.
Yeah, and this is not a bad thing for PNG. Soatanga's on strike. Farane's off strike at the moment. Soatanga this time edges past the wicketkeeper Kaveri, I should say, down towards third, but they only managed to get one. So, despite the edge, there was a good bit of fielding there, good urgency, and just the one there to Soatanga. She moves on to 7 off the 14 balls. Farane 7 off 6. 4 balls left in the power play, so Papua New Guinea have a deep mid-wicket and a wide long on the boundary. Here is Thomas to Farane. She swings that one, sails over the top of the stumps through to Kaveri behind the stumps. So dot ball there. Good bowling from Thomas.
Very impressive bowling, and I think she will prove to be a challenge for Vera Farane.
As this one's played back towards Thomas, she gets a hand on it, takes all the pace off it. And there's no run there as it's picked up at mid-on.
I like what PNG are doing here. They're taking a different approach to the Samoan bowling lineup. They're already into their 4th bowler in the 6th over. Not afraid to change their bowlers around and keep the batters guessing in this power play period.
And more importantly, denying Farane boundaries at the moment. Farane, she's always looking to score pretty much off every ball. That familiar stance. Here comes Thomas again. Farane slams this one, but straight to the wide mid-on. Or long on, I should say. Wide long on. Just the one. It's a good field setting here from Papua New Guinea. That is the end of the 6th over, the end of the power play. Samoa now, 21 for 1. Going along at a rate of 3.5 and over. The required run rate's creeping up ever so slightly, up to 4.93. But significantly for Samoa, who of course are unbeaten in this tournament so far, having won their first 3 matches, they've only lost the 1 wicket. And they're well positioned here. Soatanga's doing a good job. She's there 7 off 14. She's facing now. That's a full toss. In fact, it's Farane who was facing there. It was a full toss, and you can't bowl like that to Farane. It was right in the slot. She smashed it away. And are you indicating a free hit there, are you? Yep. It wasn't that high, but gee, that's about the worst possible outcome you can have, isn't it? Bowling to Vera Farane, giving her a free hit. Oh, that hasn't come up on the screen yet. I didn't think it was that high, actually. Anyway, let's see what happens to this ball. It's another full toss, but she doesn't time this one. She's going to pick up a single to backward square. Now the umpire's signalling a free hit off that ball. Yeah, so that last ball was considered to be a 2 no balls, no ball plus the single. So it's going to be Soatanga facing this free hit. was a good length delivery. She tried to work it into the leg side, but just managed to chop it into her pads, and there was no run. So good recovery there from Ranu. Here she is again. And she's clean bowled her! Sautanga had her middle stump knocked back. It was a great length ball by Ranu. Sautanga looking to force it through the leg side. And that is the end of Samoa's other opener, Sautanga. She's dismissed for 7 off 16 balls. And it's a great strike by Ranu. It was a good length delivery. Playing across the line was Sautanga. And Samoa, 27 for 2 now. You get the sense that they feel that they've got an opening here. Obviously, Farani's still there at the other end. She's unbeaten on 13. Crucial wicket, of course. So Lamoy is the next batter to come in. Of course, outstanding bowler she is. Only 15, only just 15 as well. Just recently got old enough to qualify to play in the under-19s. She's going to face up to Ranu. Just looking around the field, there's 2 players out on the leg side, but otherwise a ring field. As Lamoe just defends that one to backward square, and there's no run there. So this is a crucial period of play here. Get the feeling that PNG won't be too worried if they give away a few singles, particularly to keep Farani off strike, and hope to induce a rash shot as this one's defended again by Lamoe. (28 for 2). Current run rate is 4.2, so the required run rate's actually dipping here. It's down to 4.65. Here's Ranu again. And it's a big full toss, and it's pulled away over mid-wicket. Fielder there at long on. Restricts the scoring to 1, but it's called a no ball, so this next one's going to be a free hit. And this next ball from Ranu beats Farani outside the line of off stump. So no damage done from the free hit. Good bowling from Ranu. So there's just 1 ball left in this over now. I'm sure Farani's eyeing up the boundary, perhaps down by the sight screen somewhere. There's no one at long on or long off. There's 2 fielders, one at cow corner, one at backward square, and this one's heaved away into the offside, and it's taken! Farani just didn't get that anywhere near the pitch of the ball there. She lobbed it up into the offside, and it was well taken at backward point, and that, for Papua New Guinea, is a massive wicket. Farani, she's on her way for 13, and Toby, that could be, as they say, a game changer.
Yeah, what a huge over there for PNG. They sensed the big wicket, and Loa Ranu delivering 2 wickets for PNG. None bigger in this tournament than Vera Farane. Just bowled it a bit wider outside off. Potentially could have let it go and it could have been called a wide, but that's probably where you want to be bowling to Vera Farane. And she went after it, and it was a really good catch there taken as well. So 30 for 3. It's a similar position to what PNG were in actually as well. So that's a big wicket in the context of both this game and PNG's tournament as well, and their hopes of qualifying for that Under-19 Women's World Cup.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And that brings Mapu to the crease. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, she's a great striker of the ball, but she might just have to be a little bit cautious here with Farani gone. As Thomas begins a new over and it's driven up to wide mid-off. Time for a single. So Lamoe moves on to 2, brings Mapu on to strike. But yeah, that's a massive wicket, isn't it? But as you say, Toby, that's got to be the plan to Farane. Outside or off stump, try and draw the false shot, and yeah, it was beautifully done by PNG. Set the field right, bowled the right length, and this one is whipped away by Mapu. The first ball that she's faced through the fence, and they're going to go and have to try and find the ball now. It's just a gap in the fence over there, and
Might be a small delay in this game as might need to go to the library of balls. I can see umpire Alu Kappa, the 4th umpire today, bringing out the spare balls. Yeah, just finding that hole in the fence there, and there's a bit of a drop. They are searching for it in the university in the background.
yeah. In fact, I think they found it. A helpful spectator or onlooker has walked into the bushes there, found the ball. So no change in ball required here. Although it has to be said, who knows if it was actually the same ball or not. A lot of balls have gone over that fence since I've been watching cricket in Bali.
The umpire will inspect the ball. Umpire Claire Polisak and Kalidas. A great shot from the captain, Tia Mapu. Just doesn't want to mess around, wanting to get these runs quickly.
This time Thomas strays onto Mapu's pads. It's picked up cleanly as it came off the pad. Kaveri behind the stumps. So no run there. But yeah, what a strike first ball by Mapu. Right after Kaveri, after the star batter Farani went out, Mapu's just like, well, if it's there to be hit, I'm going to hit it, which he's just done again. Over the top of cover, running out towards the boundary. They're going to come back for 2. This is positive from Mapu. The field's up. So she's like, well, if you're going to keep the field up, I'm going to hit over the top. 3 fielders out for Mapu. There's a deep square leg, a deep mid-wicket, and a long on. So here's Thomas again. And Mapu edges this one past Kaveri behind the stumps. It's running down towards the sight screen. They're going to field it inside the boundary, and they'll settle for 2.
How's the intent from the Samoan captain, Tia Mapu? She's going after each ball. 8 off 4 against one of the best bowlers of the tournament so far, in Gabe Thomas.
Yeah, I think it's the point, Toby, is that PNG's doesn't have anyone outside the circle on the offside. So, and that's another lovely strike. It's into the gap, but there's a fielder out there coming around from mid-wicket, and they're going to come back for another 2. But yes, very interesting to see the approach here of Mapu. She's only been there a very short time. She's already on 10 just off the 5 balls, and at the end of 8 overs, Samoa chasing a target of 90 to win. They're 41 for 3. Good over there. Just A little bit expensive there from Thomas. 11 off it. So her 2 overs have gone for 13. And it looks like we're going to see a change at the northern end of the ground. Looks like Garea's going to come into the attack. She was very good the other day. Oh, was it? 4 wickets and an over, Toby. So this is a good move, I feel.
And if you are just joining us and wondering why Jane Manasseh is not batting in her usual position in the top 4 or 5, she appeared to maybe injure her hamstring earlier in the innings. So that's it's brought Oliver Lamoe and Tia Mapu just up her position in the order. So potentially Samoa might only be playing 10 batters. Hopefully for their sake it doesn't come to that, but yeah, there has been a slight shift in their usual batting lineup we've seen today.
Here's Garea, right arm medium pacer. It's a nice length delivery, but it's played wide of mid-wicket, and Mapu's able to get through for a single. She moves on to 11, brings Lamoe on to strike.
Good to see Samoa looking for those singles, even off the sharp fielding there of Thomas in the ring. I think it's an evolution in their batting, trying to rotate the strike a little bit more and not just looking for the boundary, which we've seen in some of their other games. So, yeah, really pleasing if you're a Samoan coach to be seeing them looking for those singles. Not every ball can go to the boundary, so well done to their coaches and the players for looking for those quick singles.
Well, it also shows trust in the partnership as well, right? It's like, even though Mapu's got off to a strong start, as this one's defended by Lamoe, she's not trying to domineer the strike. I suspect if it was Farani that played that shot in the penultimate previous ball, 2 balls ago, she may not have taken a single. But it's a point well made. Toby. Here's Garea again. Good over so far. That's a nice ball. Just on the line of off stump, rising slightly. Played to backward point. There's no run there. So just the 2 runs off this over so far. This is what PNG needs. Just a few tight overs, and Garea's absolutely the person to do that. She bowled brilliantly on Thursday. Kept her side in the match.
Well, we know PNG, they love coming back from the drinks break after that match on Thursday, as you mentioned. I think
you've got an obsession with the drinks break, Toby. Here's
got
Garea, and this one's hit up towards mid-off. She can't quite get to it. They get through for 1. It was in the air, and that was Alex up there, Duna Alex. She just couldn't quite get to it, and they got through for a single.
When you get 6 for 7 after only 1 wicket in the first 10 overs, and then you get 6 wickets for the next 7 runs, that is probably warranting my obsession with the PNG drinks break.
And this one's swung away by Mapu, but she can only find the fielder on the square leg boundary, so they go through for 1. Mapu moves on to 12. And that is the end of the 9th over. So Samoa going along quite well here. 45 for 3. 45 more needed. So in terms of the run rate, the required target, they're halfway there off 9 overs. So 11 overs left. So you'd have to say it's been a good start by Samoa, despite the fact they've lost Vera Farani, their star batter.
I like the move here from the PNG captain to bring herself on the over before drinks.
And bowled! Wow, you called it, Toby.
It's a big wicket as well. Getting the Samoan captain, Tia Mapu, Dicolé out. That is exactly what you're hoping for. First ball of her spell. And that is a huge wicket in the context of both this game and PNG's hopes of qualifying for the under-19 T20 Women's World Cup. And look at the celebration. She loved that. It looks like they will go for drinks now.
And also the turn there, Toby. I mean, I know that Mapu took a wild swing at that, but Lahia, she's an impressive off-spin bowler. She flights it nicely. Her line is always good, but the spin that she got off the wicket, off the artificial wicket, took it inside the edge of the bat of Mapu, and yeah, beautiful bit of bowling. Great bowling change. Anyway, the drinks breaks here. We'll be back in just a few moments.
From here, yeah. I agree. Great for the tournament. Which one's tomorrow morning, sir? Oh, that's potentially the tournament decider, isn't it? What would you do if you were in Indonesia? How would you approach that game? Yeah, I probably agree with that. Try and bowl them out as cheaply as possible if you win the toss.
So it's going to be Dika Lohia to carry on. A wicket with her first ball. This is swung up towards mid-on. They think about a run. That's very casual running there from Peter. She struck it up towards mid-on, ran halfway down the wicket, and then just jogged back very slowly. Anyway, she wasn't run out. She gets to face the next ball from Dikala here. And she tries to swing it again. It's the same result. Mid-wicket comes across there, cuts it off. So great start to her spell here by the skipper, Lohia. Wicket, ... And bowl this time. Peter was trying to swing it across the line, trying to hammer it out towards the mid-wicket boundary. Basically, she played that shot 3 times in a row. This time she missed. Lohia hit. And Samoa, after getting through to 45, to get halfway through to their target with just 3 wickets down, they've now lost 2 wickets without adding to their score. So suddenly that extra 45 runs required to win has just become all that harder. And that was a beautifully flighted delivery from Lohia. It was on the line of off stump. It spun in towards the wickets. And Peter, well, she's on her way.
And what about the celebration there from the captain, Dika Lohia? She realises the importance of this spell of bowling and this match, and 2 wickets in her first over so far. It's very impressive. Just get the sense that, you know, we think Samoa might be down 1 batter as well, so PNG doing everything they can.
This first ball to the new batter, Salima, is beating her outside off stump. So really impressive here from Lohia. 2 wickets, no runs conceded in her first over. 1 ball left. And This is just pushed into the covers. They take off for a run and they'll get through comfortably. So 1 run off the over, but 2 wickets. That's the important thing from a PNG perspective and from a Samoan perspective. Samoa now at the halfway mark of the innings. They're 46 for 5. They require another 44 at a required run rate of 4.4. So it's not insurmountable, given that they're already going along at 4.6. But it's the 5 wickets down which is the problem. And there's another problem coming up for Samoa in the form of Garea. She's been a very impressive bowler, and she's going to start her second over from the northern or Kuta end of Uriana Cricket Ground, and Salima's just defending that one back to Garea.
Yeah, and I just love the way PNG have used their bowlers so far. They've already used 6 bowlers in the first 10 overs, so plenty of options to choose from. They've kept the Samoan batters guessing of who's going to come on, and 5 wickets in the first 10 overs. They'd be very happy with where they're at the moment, and still plenty of bowlers to choose from as well.
It's a good point, Toby. I think if Samoa had their time again, they might have altered their strategy with bowling out, their top 4 with 16 overs gone. Here's Garea, and she beats Salima outside off stump. It's always a risk when that happens. I mean, I know why you do it, but if it doesn't come off, you don't get the wickets that you're hoping to get. You leave yourself slightly exposed, and I don't know how many runs came off the last 4 overs, but from memory it was around about 30 or 35. This one's just defended into the offside by Salima. And it may not have made any difference, but it's one of those ones where you look back at the end and think, oh, maybe we should have just rejigged that slightly.
Yeah, at the end of 16 overs, PNG were just 51 runs. So
is that right?
So scored 38 off there.
Oh, it's a beautiful catch, a mid-wicket. Absolutely stunning catch there by Gabby Thomas. It was played into the leg side. There was only one fielder anywhere near that. It was Gabby Thomas, and Salima, she's only just arrived at the crease. Well, in fact, she's faced 7 balls. But Gabby Thomas diving away to her right. That was a stunning catch. PNG well and truly on top. Samoa, having won the previous 3 games out of 3, they're in a bit of trouble here. And as I was going to say as a neutral, I'm obviously not really a neutral. Oh, that's a great catch, isn't it? Just a beautiful catch.
And the celebration to match. They realised the importance of this match. Of course, they've had the break day yesterday, all teams, but for PNG, this is a must-win match. They need to win every match for any hopes of qualifying for that Under-19 Women's World Cup. And look, the performance today with the ball, and they look to be strategically switched on.
Yeah.
And that partnership as well.
Even the decision to hold Garea back a little bit and bowl her in the middle of the innings, it's been very smart. She's got 1 for 4. Oh, there's a misfield there at backward point, so they'll get through for a single there. But yeah, 1 for 5 now off 2 overs. And giving no runs away. She's got the wicket there through that great catch by Thomas. And they're in a pole position. But I suppose the other thing, Toby, is that as far as I can see, the Indonesian team is not here. They must be back at their hotel. But I'm pretty sure they'll be watching this on the live stream. And, if Samoa are to go on to lose to Papua New Guinea today, that brings Indonesia right back into the tournament, having won today, and they've won 3 from 4. I've got a theoretical question for you coming up, but let's see how Lahir goes as she begins a new over from the southern end, the Uluwatu end of Udiana Cricket Ground. That's flatter and it's played to point. They take off for a single or a direct hit. She would have been out for sure. They're trying to run an overthrow, but are they going to get back? Yes, they are. Wow, that was a great effort there from Loine Tafia. She dived, and then Lamoe called her back for an overthrow. She hadn't even got off the ground, and she got back, and she's off the mark. Oh, she's on 3 now, but...
Yeah, well, when runs are a little bit hard to come by, you've got to, you can't leave anything out there. So there was 2, so good effort to come back for that second run.
This one's hit up to cover. There's a fumble there, but they were always going to get through for 1. So Loine Tafia, she moves on to 4. Brings Lamoe on to strike. She's on 4 off 8. Samoa 50 for 6. 40 more needed. This is down the leg side and it's short. Lamoe can't catch up with it.
That spun and bounced an absolute mile there from Dika Lehea. A lot of revolutions on the ball she's got, and yeah, it was almost up towards the head down leg side.
Yeah, well taken by Kaveri, but it was a wide. Here is Lehea again, and Lamoe's forcing that one up towards mid-on. So Papua New Guinea keeping the fielders in here, just the 2 out of the circle, no one out on the offside. There's a deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket on the leg side. Applying the pressure. Here is the next ball, and she's bowled again! Lehea does it! She takes her 3rd wicket, and Papua New Guinea, they're looking very, very good here. Lamoe it was. She was cleaned up completely by Lehea, swinging for that, trying to force it away, and Lehea with that high arm action, looping it up there, but the turn, Toby, the turn, just taking out the off stump, and she's bowling absolutely beautifully here. She's got 3 for 5.
And all 3 wickets bowled, so that's what you get taught when you're bowling spin in the short form of the game. If the batter misses, make sure you hit the stumps, and to have 3 wickets all bowled, she's putting on a clinic here and trying to bring her team with her to try and get that qualification. It's a great performance from the PNG Siale's captain.
Well, they've had some impressive performances. I mean, they scored 171 against Fiji with great batting, like really, really good batting. But they're bowling right now, and here is Lehea, who scored 70 in that match. 74, I think it was. She's just played that one away to Politai Val. Politai Val just defending. But yeah, they've had a good tournament, PNG. Here's Lehea again.
Yeah, they've been a little bit unfortunate, just on the wrong side, losing some close ones. But if they are to go on a win today, and then if they go on to win their next 2 games, they will give themselves every opportunity of qualifying.
This will bring them to 2 wins or 3 wins?
Yeah, this will be their second win.
Second win, yeah.
Today, but it will all probably come down to tomorrow morning's match between Samoa and Indonesia. That's a key match for both teams. So
yeah, pivotal, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, there's still a bit of way to go at the moment in this game.
Here's Garea beginning a new over, and this is outside off stump.
But the way things are looking, it doesn't look like Jane Manasseh is going to come back on and bat. So it means Samoa are effectively 8 wickets down, which does make things challenging for them.
Here's Garea again, and once again it's outside the off stump. Loine Tafia. She can't cash in there. There's no one out there either. I mean, that's the thing. It's outside off stump. If she can just get anything on it and get it through the gap, there's no fielders in the deep. But Garea, she's bowling a very good probing line here, and this one's defended. It's a French cut to backward square, the inside edge. They get through for a single. Yeah. Tomorrow's game's going to be big, isn't it, in the morning? That's the beauty of a tournament, though, right? Like, it's not just a one-off. You've got to perform every day. And this is a beautiful delivery. On the line of the stumps is an appeal for LBW, not given. As Polotai Val
Just looked to be sliding down leg side, that one.
I don't know how you manage this, Toby. I just don't know how you can watch two things at the same time. But I'm grateful for the fact that you are able to qualify what I say. Here's Garea, and this one's a big full toss down the leg side. It's called no ball. And so this will be a free hit. So Garea just losing her line and length there. But yeah, it's just something about me. Occasionally I'll watch a ball on the screen, but I much prefer to just see what I see. And this one's played behind square. They take off for a quick single. It could be a run out. I think that's out. It is. It is. Polotai Val, she played it behind square. Loini Tafia, she didn't respond particularly slowly. It was just perhaps a slightly ill-advised run, but it was a great bit of fielding there and a good throw just around the base of the stumps. And that's another wicket down for Samoa. Just have a look at that. It was number 45. It was a great throw there. And Winnie Oa, she did exactly what was required, mainly through the accuracy. The bails were whipped off by Kaveri, and that's 8 down for Samoa. So with just 53 on the board and another 37 needed, and as Toby's mentioned, they might only have 10 batters today due to Manassi's injury. But Bracey is the new batter. That's down the leg side. It's signalled wide. .54 for 8. One ball left in the 13th over. PNG sensing victory here. Samoa with a lot left to do. Here's Bracey. She's beaten outside the lineup off stump. Great bowling by Garea. That's the end of her third over. She's got 1 for 8. And Samoa now, that run rate's up over 5, but crucially, they just have 2 wickets left.
Yeah, we talked about that match tomorrow morning, the Indonesia Samoa. It's a big game, and PNG, if they've got any chance of wanting to qualify through to the World Cup, assuming they win today, they will be supporting their neighbours, Indonesia, and hoping they can do everything they can to try and get that win.
Struck on the pad this time. There's a shout for LBW. As Lahia starts her third over. She's got 3 for 5. Probably just turning a little bit too much. She gets a lot of turn, actually. It's not often you see an off-break bowler that just consistently turns it as much as Lahia does. This next one is lofted, played uppishly towards mid-wicket. There's no run there. Polotai Val, she's not off the mark yet. She's faced the 6 balls. So 2 batters, both yet to score. PNG well and truly on top here. This one beats the outside edge of, in fact it's Bracey on strike, beats the outside edge of Bracey's bat. In fact, no it's not, we've got that around the wrong end. It's Polotai Val, yeah. So that's 7 balls she's faced now. Here is, and this next ball, and it's struck on the pad, as a shout for LBW. Probably a little bit too hopeful, and particularly with the amount of turn that Lahia is getting. 4 dots in the scorebook this over. 2 balls left. Here's Lahir again. Tall right arm off spinner, and this is a swing across the line from Politai Val. Plays that one away to mid-wicket, or sorry, to backward square. So she still hasn't got off the mark. 10 balls faced. So potential maiden coming up here for Lahir in her 3rd over. And it's played to backward square. I think there was a chance. Although there's not a lot of excitement in the field. Perhaps she played it into the ground and it was on the bounce. So it's a maiden for Lahir. So after 3 overs of her spell, she has 3 for 5. Very impressive figures. Samoa, after 14 overs, they're 54 for 8.
So I think it's the first time these two batters have batted so far in the tournament. I suppose it's good practice for them, even if they can't get the win today. Hopefully, for their sake, for Samoa's sake, take a little bit of confidence into tomorrow's match against Indonesia.
Yeah, it's a good point, Toby. You know, with 6 overs left, I mean, realistically, they're not going to win from here. So, you know, if I was in their positions, Bracey, for example, I'd just try and enjoy having 6 overs out in the middle, and you know, you never know. Like that, for example, there was no point taking off for a risky single there. Better to just stay there, accept the fact that a win's very, very unlikely, and then there's more games to come. That's the other thing, and you know, if she can make a half a dozen or 10 or something and just build her confidence, that might come in really valuable later in the tournament.
Yeah.
Or maybe at the Under-19 World Cup.
Exactly. So yeah, you're spot on. It's a good opportunity for these two batters. And potentially tomorrow, you know, they may be required again and it could be a little bit closer. And if you can take any bits of confidence, just...
Exactly, and you know, the other thing, you know, with Bracey on strike here, and obviously, you know, she's the number 10 batter. You know, she's facing a really good bowler here. You know, it's not like she's coming out, you know, with some part-timer on. I mean, Correa has been outstanding in this tournament. She's got 2 balls left in the over, 1 for 8. Here's Bracey, and she's just defending that one up towards cover. But yeah, that's the other thing about cricket, right? You can bat in the nets as often as you want, and you can face your own bowlers as many times as you want. But actually being in a live situation against a really good bowling attack in the middle, there's just something different about that. And it's defended nicely by Bracey. And that's the other thing too, right? That's the end of the over. So 15 gone. Samoa 54 for 8. Yeah, that's the other thing. There could come a situation later on in this tournament or at some other point in Bracey's career where maybe her job is just to defend when someone else is at the other end. So
Yep.
I've done that a few times. Do you know one time I added 100 with a guy. I scored 18 singles. 17 singles. I just gave him the strike.
I've seen a lot worse in terms of some 100-run partnerships where, you know, one batter's just scored, you know, even less.
But 17 singles, that's ridiculous, right?
17's.
But it was just really weird. Like, they never put a cover in place. I just kept hitting it to cover and taking a 1. Anyway, enough about me. Here's Lahir into her last over. 1 off the first ball. That's an outside edge. Good delivery by Lahir. There's a chase down there for Alex. She picks it up cleanly, but they're going to come back for 2. In fact, is there a chance of a run out? Wow, that's good work from Alex. A good chase, an excellent throw, and Kaveri had the bails off in a flash, but Bracey was home and she's off the mark with 2. But Lahir, wow, how dangerous is she? Every ball she's threatening, isn't she?
Yeah, she's an impressive bowler. I've seen her in the Laywers, which is the PNG women's team. She is in their squad and played a couple of games for them. So, the PNG Laywers, they are ranked 11th in the world in the T20 rankings, and if she's getting a game in that squad, it just shows how promising she is as a player. And to be fair, there's quite a few promising players in this under-19s Ciale's team, so it's the future is bright for PNG cricket, that's for sure.
And the sun is shining on PNG as Lahia comes in again. That's slightly wide of off stump, but not called wide. Left alone by Bracey. But yeah, there's something to be said by having someone that can just hold up an end, get the odd run here and there. Obviously, it's not particularly relevant, although Bracey's just launched that one over square leg, almost out to the boundary, and they'll come back for 2. But this is a sort of an example of what I mean. She's on 4 off 11 now, so she had 10 balls just to have a look. Lahia dropped one short, and she took advantage of it. With 1 ball left in her spell, Lahia. She's got 3 for 10 so far.
And of course, it could come down to it at the very end, net run rate as well. So every over and run you stay out there,
Yep.
it helps as well.
That's one formula I actually have no idea what it actually means. Is it got anything to do with wickets?
Nothing to do with
Nothing
wickets.
to do with wickets, right? So it's just basically your run rate overall relative to overs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and explain
No.
it because it's
No, but it's one of those.
confused, but
It's one of those statistics I've known forever. But I thought about this recently. I actually have no idea how you calculate it. But it's basically the rate at which you score your runs versus the rate at which all the opposition scores their runs over a period of time.
That's pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
I'd say that is spot on.
I've been spot on a few times today.
Yeah,
You've certainly used that phrase a few times.
You've
This
come
one's
in hot after the break, so after
Here's-
the day off.
Here's Politai Val working this one away into the leg side. That takes her on to 2.
A bit like this PNG team, nice and refreshed, and you can tell that they're very much switched on today.
Yeah, it's been an impressive performance, hasn't it? Particularly, we've seen it in this tournament a few times, Toby. One partnership can make a massive difference as Bracey flashes out the side the off stump there through to Kaveri behind the stumps, and there's no run. But yeah, just one partnership can make a big difference. And I mean, I don't know if there's an official presentation, but I know who I would give players of the match to. It would be the 2 players that got PNG up to 89 from where they were. Like a brilliant performance by Gowdy and Kaveri. As Bracey picks up a single there.
To think they came in at 4 for 27.
Exactly.
And
Didn't lose another wicket.
Took the score up to 89. We were talking about maybe if they could just get up to 70 or 65, 70, but to take the score
And
up
look
to
at that.
89.
Samoa's on 61 for 8, right?
Yeah.
So you're exactly right. Spot on, maybe even.
Yeah, it was a key partnership, and
Here's Alex, and she strikes Politai Val on the pad. There's an appeal.
good late in swing there from Juno Alex Palau. Just probably a little bit too much in swing, just probably missing leg stump there, but yeah, she's been an impressive bowler this series as well. They've got a lot of impressive players, the PNG team, very well balanced, particularly actually in their batting and their bowling. It's very well balanced team.
Here's Alex again, and this one's worked away into the leg side. They'll go through for a single. I was just thinking, Toby, has there been any LBWs today? I don't think I can remember a single one today. There's been a lot of bolds. I just can't really remember any LBWs.
Yeah, not in this match. There were
Definitely not in this match.
There were a few earlier this morning, in this morning's game. But I
Showing
don't
my
think
old
there's
age.
been an LBW in this match.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I don't recall any of them. Bracey this time plays it away nicely between the fielders at cover point and point. She picks up a single. She moves on to 5. So it's very much batting practice here for Samoa, at least it feels that way at the moment. Theoretically, they're not that far away. They need 27 off the final 3 overs at a run rate of 9 and over. But I get the feeling that they're not really chasing it at the moment. But, I mean, it's obviously has to be a bowling change now because the skipper, she's bowled out now, Dekela here. So Thomas is coming back on. So it's not going to be easy. But I'd be tempted to just have a little bit of a dash here. But that's a very good length delivery from Thomas. Right up in the block hole, and Bracey's only able to defend that away. But yeah, but close enough. If I was out there at the moment, I reckon I'd have a go. Just have a swing and see what happens. Here's Bracey facing up again, and she's beaten outside the off stump. Excellent work by Kaveri behind the stumps. Whipped the bails off.
Yeah,
she's sharp, isn't she?
Outstanding wicketkeeper, Oala Boya. Ray Kaveri. Mentioned earlier that comes from a long lineage of PNG cricketers. Her dad was the wicketkeeper for the PNG men's national team, the Barramundis, and keeping up to the
Why are they
stumps
called
here.
the Barramundis, out of interest? Any insight on that?
It's a good question.
I sort of always associate barramundi with Australia. Is it like a fish that's caught in the, what is it? Is it the Torres Strait?
Yeah, it would be.
There's a potential run-out chance here, and I think that's out. And that is the end. Whoa, that is the 9th wicket down. Bracey played that one away into the offside. It was a great bit of fielding, and Polo Taival responded to the call, but just couldn't quite get there quick enough. And it looks like Bracey's walking off now, so I think that may well be the end of the match because, as you said earlier,
Jane
Manasseh,
she's looked to have injured her hamstring, so
not going to risk batting with a runner. So, yeah, so Manasseh will go down in the scorecard as absent injured. And that is the end of this fixture. Papua New Guinea victorious over Samoa by 26 runs, and significantly for this tournament, Samoa has lost its unbeaten record. Papua New Guinea gets its 2nd win out of 4 fixtures. Samoa, they've had their first loss, but they've still had 3 wins, and with Indonesia beating Fiji earlier today, Indonesia also has 3 wins. So that's the end of day 4 here at the Udiana Cricket Ground. My thanks to my co-commentator Toby, and all the support staff, all the technical team, and the live streaming Bali crowd that make this all happen, the cameramen and everyone else. It's goodbye from Udiana Cricket Ground, and we'll be back here tomorrow for the crucial fixture, particularly the one in the morning at 9:30 local time between Samoa and Indonesia. Tune in then, and goodbye for now.